is live on YouTube.
That's a 3280, ready to go.
Can you post your link?
Cracking buses.
Ah, come on, man. I got so much I have to do right now. Go on my channel and find it.
Yeah, what's your channel?
The one true Mongoloid, the one you watched on last time.
Does this mean I paid attention to the stream name?
Oh, do better. Alright, here we go.
November 5251.
Yeah,
Aircraft it.
Wait, you posted a link?
Hawker 850 XP.
Flaps 5, calculate.
Turbofan, yes.
Perfect. Apply.
Definitely
Landing.
not a helicopter.
Okay,
Flaps 40. Alright, so that's good.
And Atlanta ground level
Off.
364,
Frig.
1 north, ready to go.
Calculate.
Or sorry, 1 south.
Okay. Apply. Make sure that calculated for 9 left.
364.
A firm 364.
It did.
is 1
Okay,
south, ready to
good.
go.
Got a
Alright, so we're just
364
recalculate that and
the
apply.
runway now, left side mic, keep that should be a mic.
We're gonna do this a third
Mike,
time
Mike,
because I
Mike,
keep
Mike,
not
Mike,
paying
Mike.
attention. Yeah, okay, flaps 5. Good. Alright. Sweet. So let's compute the flight.
5251, cleared to Daytona Beach.
Alright, that was
With a
114.
Maintain 1010,000, expect flight level
114
after
packs.
collector departures on 135.7,
Performance data.
7224.
Alright, let's release the flight. And we're going to
Roger,
export.
Daytona via the Varsity to departure, cleared 10,000, expect 29,000, 3 minutes at departure, 125.7 departure frequency, 7224 is the squawk code for 5251.
5251, readback correct, expect runway 8 left for departure, complete.
8 left, okay.
Here it is. And I have KATL to KEWR.
364,
Outstanding.
please.
Oh man, there's just so much open. I have so many windows open right now. This is ridiculous. Okay, so my cruising altitude is going to be 41,000. Seriously? Okay.
19.3 for tower, 364. Atlanta.
Are you flying offline or online?
Flying on VATSIM. Okay. Alright, I think we're good to go.
Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, good evening and welcome to board. Blah, blah, blah. Cruise speed is going to be 445 knots. Looks like true airspeed. Yeah, 445 knots.
And ground 5251, ready for taxi.
5251, taxi, runway 8 left via Alpha, taking 3007.
Okay.
8 left via Alpha, and then, what else did you say?
Alpha, runway 3007.
3007.
Alright. So let's get, now that we're in here, let's go ahead and start configuring some of this stuff. So get out of here. So let's get our INS aligning, turn the yaw dampener on. It turned itself off because it's too early to turn that on. That's why. Get our fuel pumps turned on. Let's go down here and configure. All right, so our fuel today is going to be, this is the OFP, by the way. This is what the dispatch system generates. Basically, this is all the details for the entire flight. So, like, you know, this is who you are. This is like the general data, your takeoff, your max weights and stuff. This is your cruise information and your planned fuel and all that jazz. So because we have a departure time of 03:45. I still have to call for clearance. I'm kind of going through this kind of quick. So 1-4 was that 14,200? I'll tap back over here. I'm just going to bring this up to my other screen because it's easier for me. All right, so yeah, 14,200 pounds of fuel. There we go. So see, that's what I was talking about earlier, Disarm. With tanking fuel. I've only got 14,000 pounds roughly of fuel on board right now. I could go double that and still be under my max fuel. And be fine. Actually, we're gonna do 105. Boop. And then 2736. We're just gonna make this easy.
Atlanta Ground, good evening. American 786.
1368 in both.
Ready to taxi 9 left as per PDC.
Can you guys hear the radios?
Yes.
Outstanding.
So you cut out there. Say again for 786.
American 786, runway 9 left at Mike 2, taxi via Mike, altimeter 3007.
Alright, so let's get ACARS pre-flight.
Roger, we'll taxi 9 left via Mike, American 786.
American 786, going to the intersection, Mike 2, please.
Five two five one, Holly Short, runway 8 left.
5251, contact tower 191.
191, thank you.
American 76, confirm taxiing intersection Mike 2.
What's ETE?
Roger that.
Estimated time en route.
Mike to Mike 2, hold short 9 left.
2415. Alright. Alright, I can't connect. Oh yes I can. I just can't request stuff until the INS finishes aligning. Just kind of silly. But it is what it is. Okay, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to call and try and get my clearance right now while we're waiting. It might be a little early to do that.
What's the
so.
317 on the yoke?
Oh, that number right there. It's that's just there as like a mnemonic device. It's there to help you remember something should you need it. Yeah. All right. So, all right. So now that that's doing its thing, we can go to the FMC. We don't need a ProTref. All right, so let's go to route. Right, I don't think I can request anything until, maybe I can. We're gonna try. Yes, I can. Outstanding.
I'm booting up Microsoft Flight Sim. And UAG's all in lorem ipsum. So,
Yeah, we're you're streaming your audio right now, so careful with that.
No.
But yeah, yeah.
That is true.
do. All right. So let me pull my charts up here on my handy dandy kneeboard. All right. Yeah, I should call for my clearance here. Atlanta Ground, Delta 2415, requesting IFR clearance to Newark.
Got 2415 on it. Are you able to accept arrivals or SIDS and stars?
That's affirmative, sir. We are able to take SIDS and stars.
Roger, Delta 2415. Let me sending a PDC full route clearance. It's going to be a full route amendment.
Roger that. We'll stand by here. I think I just stepped on something.
3067 taxi, Foxtrot to the ramp.
Foxtrot to the ramp, thanks, 3067.
All right, so he said it's going to be a couple of minutes, so we're just going to kind of put that on
What are
hold.
stars and what you said?
Sid is a here we go. He delivered my clearance via text. All right, so our squawk is, set my pen down, 7225 doop 67225. So jets maintain 10,000. So that's our initial clearance altitude is 10,000 feet. Flight level 410, departure KATL, arrival KWR, equipment 738 route. So we're going to be taking the Palmer 2. Palmer 2 for the spa transition. Wow, so he didn't quite assign. We're gonna, all right, yeah, expect runway 9 left for departure. Thank God. All right, so we got the Palmer 2 and then the Q22 to Barry.
American 76, contact Tower 19, 3, good day.
Q22 to Barry. R.I. And then that's interesting. And then FAK. Filbo 3, that sounds like a SID.
Line ground, good evening. Spirit Wings 403, spot 4 Sierra, ready for taxi. We got information off.
Spirit Wings 403, line ground, runway 9 left.
Ocean starter at pilot's discretion. Contact ground on appropriate end of the ramp for taxi on initial contact. State call sign, beacon code, and ATIS. Departure clearance end.
So what were SIDs and stars you were saying?
SIDs are I don't remember the S, but it's instrument departure, and then a star is terminal something, terminal arrival route. Yeah, so basically it's just departure routes and arrival routes.
1327, thanks. Did you get 9 right or 9 left?
It's giving us the Filbo 3 arrival via FAK.
Left taxi via Romeo, hold short 9 right.
Alright, so
Romeo, hold short 9 right, FedEx 1327.
Alright, so let's get our IRS position put in. Dupe. So there's that. Now we can dupe and dupe. Hey, we're alive.
Is this one of your co-pilot planes, or
this is, but I'm doing it all me because if you get this, you're probably not going to get FS2 crew. So I figured it would be a good idea to show you how to do it yourself. Yeah. So we just step through here. Okay, so there's the discon. So where the hell is AFJEB? Omens and Barry. Oh. So here's Spa, and we did Spa way back here. So. Alright. Time check, 3:29. I got 15 minutes. Shit. There's Booyah. Was Booyah back up here? I think it was. It was not. Oh, what a clusterfuck.
Ground, Solaris 4420.
Yeah, Fubar. The epitome.
Ramp via Lima, 4420.
Experience 403, contact error 119.3.
I'm just trying to connect the dots here. This is a cluster what we got right here.
So what happened?
Basically he assigned us a SID and a star, and it is conflicting with our route. Yeah, so actually we're gonna throw this in here first. Okay. Oh wow, so actually I can go straight from Barry to FAK pretty much. Yeah, Jesus Pete. Alright.
Did that fix it?
Yeah, it completely changed my flight plan, but yeah, that fixed it.
Delta 2078, ready for taxi.
Alright, let's activate.
Delta 2078 at
Route data, let's get our wind.
Runway 8 right taxi via Hotel.
Aw, come on, man. I know I'm connected to A-cars. Give me my damn winds.
Hotel, Delta 2078.
FedEx 1327, contact error 109.3, advise you hold short 9 right.
This turned on. Route data. Oh, because I haven't done my initialization yet, that's why. Alright, here we go. So planned fuel is 14.2. 0 fuel weight is that. Our reserve is 5.7.
Kilo 3 India Tango, Lana Tower cleared out of the Lana classified airspace. Maintain VFR at or below 3,000.
Cost index of 40.
Squawk is 7.
Flight level 410 is going to be our cruise altitude. Our cruise wind is expected to be... wind is expected to be 272... Call it 272026 at our first fix. So 272/026.
3 or Kilo 3 India Tango reload correct.
Execute. N1 limit. Performance data calls for derated takeoff 2. Alright. And then our takeoff, we're going to be flaps 5. Center of gravity, so 5.54 on the trim wheel.
It spins.
And 3 India Tango, would you like to VFR flight flying?
Alright. And then let's get our things in here. And they're reasonably close to our calculated, so... Alright, here we go. Now let's request our winds, now that we got that. Alright, so now...
Delta 432, my check.
LNAV and VNAV. Oh, saw, dude.
What's going on?
We're watching
Delta
the stream.
432, my
Set
check.
that
You're
to
on air. Don't say anything wrong.
432,
Don't say anything wrong.
Secret club.
Nothing wrong.
Shit.
Shit.
Well, now...
Kill the stream.
Atlanta ground, Oregon 28.
Pull the plug.
Ramp 1.
Pull
Alright.
the lever, Kronk.
Alright, so let's upload our wind. Let's get our beacon light going, or that going, get our anti-calls on.
So I finally found a sling that I want for my AR.
Nice.
And they're out of stock everywhere.
Oh, rip.
And the only company that's going to have them in stock is going to be mid-June. Now, it's not terrible, but I was supposed to bring my AR on a trip in earlier than mid-June, so now I'm sad.
Sorry, broski.
It is what it is.
Alright, execute, and then let's go to descent, get our descent forecast, get our... Alright, so our APU is starting. We should have APU power soon. Yaw dampers on. Those are on. Give that a test. That's good. Okay. So, all right. This is
Mark
line.
2 advise reducing the obstruction to inform.
All right. Let's pop over to the first
Yep, I
officer
just sorry
seat.
about that.
Mike 2, Roger, are you going to make a U-turn or what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's our plan. We're gonna make a quick U-turn here, American 28.
Roger, and American 28, you can make a U-turn, just hold short of Dixie, please.
Okay. There we go.
Roger that, American 28.
All right. And our runway heading is going to be 095, so that's going to be our initial.
Taxiway Delta, request taxi to gate Delta 9.
Load.
Delta 926 still on ground, hold position, please.
All right, so there's
Call
that.
position Delta 926.
Delta 926, go away to American 737 off your right side, making a turn, taxiing westbound on Lima. Taxi, you can follow him and taxi right via Lima today.
Get our lights turned on, otherwise it is going to be a dark when I turn this floodlight off.
Via Lima, Delta 926.
I don't care
Who
about
needs
that.
night vision? Just
Kilo
keep it on.
3 India Tango Squad.
Yeah, right.
See any Dixie, Charlie Dixie intersection, just advise which
Just a
intersection
little
on.
bit of flood. Okay, so now let's kick this to dim. All right, and we are cleared to push at our own discretion. So we are cleared to push and start at our own discretion. So let's go ahead and do that. We are going to go nose to the left, tail, or nose to the right, tail to the left. So let's do this. Do. And I'll use GSX because it looks cool.
Which GSX?
It's a ground crew add-on. We should probably close that door.
That's a really small pushback.
Well, torque.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Ours are so much bigger.
I mean, there are bigger ones, but
Yeah, it's so small for what I'm used to.
no, I hear ya. All right, so that's closed. Oh, I should have made sure the wheel chocks were pulled up.
Locking gear.
Release the ground power. Remove the wheel chocks. There we go. And set to V2, which is 141.
Firefly 626 on the ground, taxi gate via Lima.
I need to rate these speeds.
Nose right, tail left. Oh, for the love of God.
Departure check
And
completed.
3 in a
Bypass being
taxi,
inserted.
runway
Release sparking
left
brakes.
to the outstanding section, any
Commencing
intersection is
push.
fine.
All engines clear. Start at will.
All
They
right.
just inserted the bypass?
On behalf of the captain,
All right.
welcome
Let's
aboard.
start the left engine.
Lastly, please turn off all electronic devices. Thank you, and have a great flight.
There's 20. Give it fuel. Oh, and let's start our mission timer.
Oh, hey, you're 5 minutes early.
Yeah, a little, yep, just over 5 minutes early. Not teabag at all.
I like how they said bypass inserted, and my first thought was just like they didn't have it in already.
I think that's just for the pilot's benefit. Like, hey, just so you know, the bypass pin is in fact there.
Yeah. I was gonna say when they do their pre-flight, they definitely check that it's in.
All right.
Someone can come up and pull it out.
True.
Start.
But if you pull the bypass pin when the pushback bar is in, you're an asshole and you can break a lot of things. Don't do that.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brake set.
Your confirmation for good engine start.
With you, like
It's going to
Prepar
be
1246,
I love the signal for starting an engine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You just point at it, you just go like you did the circle thing. It's like, yeah. We only ever have to do one more de-icing, but it's just nice to see.
So you actually work in
Ramp.
terminal? Yeah, the ramp.
Yeah.
All right. So that is good engine start. Yep, I just told you, good engine start. You can disconnect. Thank you.
Don't be an
Photo
asshole,
3.
he's just making sure.
I'm not being an asshole.
Don't be that pilot.
I'm not being that pilot.
Be nice to your ground crew.
I'm being very nice to the ground crew.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Bye, pushback.
You were good, kid. Real good.
You did it. You also don't have to go straight. Oh, he's gonna do it like that.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
We just go backwards.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, that way you can easily just park. Just go right back to where the pushback's parked, and we disconnect the tow bar, and we just move it right next to it. Boom, easy.
All right, we are good. All right, so let's get our taxi light on, and we can turn the APU. Oh, what? Why? Because I'm an idiot. That's why.
What did you do?
I turned off the APU without connecting the blaggin' batteries. Because I'm a moron. No, thankfully. It almost did. It could have very quickly and easily, but it looks like we're good. All right. I was quick enough. Yes. It's forgiving in that regard. Okay. Atlanta ground Delta 2415 is ready for taxi for departure.
Got a 2415 Atlanta Tower, Swan Point Charlie, 199er left on like 2 taxi view, Mike.
Oh, come on. Roger, squawk mode C, taxi to runway 9 left via taxiway Mike, Delta 2415.
And about a 2415 is going to be intersection Mike 2 for departure.
Roger, copy. Yeah, apologize, Tower. I forgot to say we have information November.
No worries.
All right, so we are going to taxi straight ahead on to Lima 4 to taxiway Mike, where we are going to turn left, and then we are going to taxi down to Mike 2, where we will enter the runway for departure. Mike and Mike 2.
So what would the first officer be doing right now? Is he just kind of chilling, watching, or?
He would confirm our V speeds here. All right, let's get rolling. First officer would have he would have been doing his own flow during all of that. All right. So yeah, it's Lima is the outer. And I just want to make sure, yeah.
That's cool seeing a plan lane.
Mhm.
Land.
Mm. Alles gut.
I can word you.
Oh, I should probably turn my logo light on, eh?
Important branding.
There we go. You can't see the rest of the dag kaflabbin plane, but you can see that. Alright, so now we are going... Now we are going to mic 2. So there's mic 4. Alright.
Center 2415, contact tower 109.3.
119.3 is tower's frequency.
Center 2415, contact tower 109.3.
Contact tower 119.3, Delta 2415.
Sorry, channel left ground is closed. Contact tower 109.3.
This is where having somebody to work the radios would be really nice. Atlanta Tower, Delta 2415 with you on taxiway Mike, taxiing Mike 2 for departure, runway 09 left.
Stand by 1 6.
That's fine, I'm on your time, dude. Alright, so we are going to be
Kilo 3 India Tango.
We are going to be holding short here. We are going to be holding short here for departure.
That is 2415 Atlanta Tower RNF. Lightest runway 9 left on my 2 clip takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 9 left, Delta 2415. Alright. So, get those all turned on. Get that throttle moved down.
Delta 432, requesting IFR clearance to Boston via deployment route departure.
Taxiway or taxi light off.
370 with information November.
Oh, yeah. It's only now that I realize how used to having that virtual first officer I've got.
432, 11 Tower, good evening, clear to Boston Airport via Plumber 2, departure Spartanburg, and that's all.
Alright.
10,000, trip level 370 in 10 minutes, departure frequency 1, 2,
There's that, there's that.
7. Squawk 7.
That's all good, that's all good. Packs are on.
Plumber 2 departure.
Let's get floodlights off. LNAV and VNAV are armed. Flaps are set. Radio set. Alright, here we go.
India Tango contact. Radar contact 1,700.
125.7.
125.7.
Alright, engines are stable.
That is 61 Atlanta Tower, runway 9 left at Mike.
Takeoff power set.
Mike 2.
Mike 2 to 9 left at Mike 2, Delta 61.
Airspeed alive.
All the cool cats get off.
80 knots.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
Oh man, I just realized that P3D is really quiet.
Visual 9 right. Clear, waiting.
V1.
Take. Tower, good evening, runway 9 right, clear land, wind 130 at tree.
Up we go.
9 right, clear land.
Positive rate. Gear up.
That is 2450, contact, landed departure 125.7. It's their birthday today.
125.7 for Delta 2415, and did I catch that it's their birthday today?
That is.
A firm. We will make sure to wish them a happy birthday. Have a good night. Atlanta departure, Delta 2415 with you, 3000, climbing 10,000. And happy birthday as well, sir.
Up 2415, Atlanta departure, radar contact.
He does not sound happy.
Up 2415, climb and maintain 14,000.
Climb, maintain 14,000, Delta 2415. Set the autopilot. Because I have enough to do without having to fly the airplane at the same time. Alright, flaps 1. Matter of fact, we are going to set manual speed to 240, flaps up. Alright, you know what, maybe actually I think I will keep this on dim, just because it is kind of nice to have that little bit of extra light. Do. And I'm also going to turn up. I don't know why P3D is so quiet, but it is. It's weird.
India Tango, Roger. The airport is closed currently, so the arrival landing will be at your discretion. You can squawk VFR, squawk 1200, frequency change approved. Have a good night.
We can a little.
I'll mute myself.
Ah, you're good, dude.
What did he say?
He said he was going to mute himself.
Delta 2415, contact Atlanta Center 126.4.
It's only going to get worse from here. So.
126.4, Delta 2415. Good night.
Right.
Turn you to those.
Atlanta Center, Delta 2415 with you, 8,600, climbing 14,000. Good evening. He did say 126 point, unless he said 124.6, he might have meant 124.6.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now acceptable to use electronic devices. When our cruising altitude is...
Alright, there's 10,000, so we're going to go back to...
For now, relax and have a great evening. Enjoy the flight.
Atlanta Center, good evening. Delta 2415 with you, 11,000, climbing 14,000. Alright. Now's the part where I start to get a little worried.
Delta 20.
There he is.
415, near with approach, contact Atlanta Center 126.420.
Roger that. Apologize. 126.420 for Delta 2415.
That's correct. Have a nice day.
Yep, you as well. Thank you. Alright. Hopefully that's the worst cock-up of the day. Atlanta Center, Delta 2415 with you, 13,000, climbing 14,000.
2415, Atlanta Center, good evening. Climb and maintain flight level 230.
Climb, maintain flight level 230, Delta 2415.
So why are you constantly switching radios?
Different controlling agencies.
1327,
So the way it normally works is when you start out, when you start out, you are you're talking to a ground controller normally, and we've leveled out. Why exactly?
Express 334, enter the class Bravo heading 050.
Yeah, what? Alright, so we're going to use level change, I guess, because VNAV ain't working.
Class Bravo 05.
So, when you first and then you transition from a ground controller to a
1107 Atlanta Center, good evening.
tower. That's where you get. That's when you depart. Well, you start out talking to clearance delivery to get your IFR clearance, and then you start talking to then you start talking to ground to taxi, and then to tower to depart, and then you got departure, which is who you talk to route you out of the airport, out of the airport's immediate area. And then once you get above 10,000 feet, departure hands you off to a center, and then center's going to control you. You're fine, Betty. Thank you.
And sorry, who was the other one calling there?
And your center's going to take care of you and have control over you above from 10,000 feet all the way up to your cruising altitude, until you are descending again. And then once you get
9205, Atlanta Center 128.
Once you descend below 10,000 feet, then they hand you off to an approach, and then your approach takes care of you all the way to the final approach to the destination, where you're passed off to tower. And then then it's tower, and then ground, and then you're done. So that's why I'm constantly switching radios. Is I'm going through different controlling agencies.
Also, what is that like greenish like arc above the HSD looking thing?
That is where I am going to reach my MCP altitude.
Tower 118.1.
Your what altitude? Oh, gotcha.
Contact tower on 1811. Thanks, Lynn.
Let's make that 18.10.
Let's try VNAV again. Here we go.
Charlotte Tower, connects 334 on the approach to 18 left. Good evening.
Express 334, Charlotte Tower, enter right traffic, runway 18 left.
Right traffic, 18 left.
Yeah, this is more light in the cockpit than I normally fly with. I'm just kind of doing it for y'all's benefit, so that you guys can see, what's around.
Nice.
I always get a little nervous when I get...
2415, climb and maintain flight 410.
Climb, maintain flight level 410, Delta 2415. I probably could have abbreviated that to just 410 Delta 2415, but meh.
9091, good evening. Maintain flight level 390.
The trouble with the fact that they pretty much null and voided my flight plan by giving me that SID and star that they did, is that the way that Delta Virtual does their scoring, so to speak, when you do your flights for them, is you get miles. You get credit for every mile you fly on the company route. And so it kind of behooves you to fly on the route to fly the company route, because that's where you get the most credit.
2700 had a great night, Southwest 1567.
But what the controller did here was, when he assigned me that SID and that star, it pretty much bypassed the entire company route, as you saw on the map on the planning page.
Pretty much just got a bird's fly route.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, very, very nearly, actually. I very nearly got an as the crow flies route, which not altogether a bad thing necessarily. Oh, that's so much better. I only threw Navigraph charts up so that like I have something dark on my second monitor up here, because that having the white light coming off of the notepad was killing me.
Delta 731, contact line approach 127.9.
Ooh, it's a dark night.
1279, Delta 731, toodles.
Hey, we're just north of Athens, Georgia.
Delta 1107, descend via the SIF to arrival, Atlanta, altimeter 3007.
Turn the logo light off at this altitude. Oh. I should have turned my landing lights off a long time ago.
Runway 18 left, clear to land. Good day, Express 324. Thanks, William.
Line approach Ahoy there, Delta 731 heavy. We're at about 12,000.
Holy stepping on people, Batman.
127.9, thank you very much.
Break. Shut the
Delta
fuck up.
668, 79.
I wonder who I'm going to get passed off to
Delta
next.
668, checking out.
Nobody. VFR. Have fun.
Yeah, right. Good luck.
Last checking on with Atlanta Center second.
Yeah, look at all of this lack of
Atlanta
being able
approach
to see
Delta
anything.
731.
Delta 731, approach on 127.9.
Oops-a-dilly.
Nice guy.
Center, Delta 668 is with you at
Yeah. Got a there's another airplane right there.
Good evening.
Showing up on the TCAS. We might be able to see him. It says he is 3,000 or 1,700 feet above us and closing because we're climbing. So let's see if we can see him.
So 427.
Whoa, what happened there?
Delta 731, you're still on center frequency. 127.9er, please. They need you over there.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see jack and shit tonight. It is dark.
Must be a full or a new moon.
Or something. It could also be tomato shade stroking out. It does that sometimes.
Delta 432, good evening. Center with you at flight level 12,000 for 14,000.
Delta 432, Atlanta Center, good evening. Climb and maintain flight level 230.
So, something interesting is because he just called in at the same altitudes that we were passed off to center at, we know that he's on the same departure that we were given, and he took off from Atlanta just like we did.
Delta 731.
Whoa.
Delta 731. Delta 731, how do you hear Atlanta? Delta 731, how do you hear Atlanta?
There it goes. I'm gonna wager not great.
Short target next to 334, this is FYI, I got you 5x5.
Ready?
Yeah, Atlanta Center, Roger. This is Delta 2415. We've also got you 5x5 over here.
Yeah, it's not us. It's something on him. He's been informed to call approach about 4 different times, and he keeps calling me, and I don't know if he's even hearing me to get the information, but they'll get him figured out over there. For all the Charlotte traffic information, Kilo is now current with altimeter 3009er.
Atlanta Delta 731 heavy. I can hear chatter now. It's weird. I just switched it back and forth 3 times, and all of a sudden I could hear everyone.
Delta 731, if you said that was you, I need you on approach 127.9er, please.
Alright, so we are just crossing 33,000 on our way to 41,000.
Greener 9091, contact Jacksonville Center 1.
Flight level 410 might actually be the highest I've ever flown the 737 so far.
It It's pretty
Delta
high.
432, climb and maintain final 370.
And normally in the 737 I'm doing 30 between like 26 between like flight level 26 and like flight level 36 or 37 is normally where I'm at. So flight level 410, that's up there. All right. The downside to flying on VATSIM versus like flying in the real world is that like in the real world I would fly this Atlanta to Newark run like every day or maybe every other day. So like right now I'm sitting here going, I wonder what the next center frequency I'm gonna have to tune to is. I would just kind of know that if I like did this for real.
Once you clear 5, exit left at your discretion.
It's kind of a bummer, but I mean, this is still
Delta 668, descend final discretion, maintain
still nice. The only anxiety I have is missing him calling out my call sign. Because the last thing you want to do is piss off an air traffic controller. I've gotten yelled at before. Everybody gets yelled at least once.
Pilot's discretion, Delta 668.
Getaway 175, Atlanta Center, good evening, resume normal speed. Getaway 175, Atlanta Center, good evening, resume normal speed.
Resume normal speed, thanks, Getaway 175.
Of course.
Getaway 175.
Show I can access 64 out of parking 6.
Have a good night.
You two were disconnected.
Oh, beer sounds nice. That was attractive.
Thanks.
Delta 668, descend via the SIP to arrival, Atlanta altimeter 3007.
Alright. Let's...
Descend to 6 for arrival and altimeter 2009.
22 right.
Delta 668, the
So,
SIP.
what is the runway elevation?
Delta 668.
Delta 1107, contact line approach 127.9.
Runway elevation is 40 feet at the touchdown zone. So let's go here. Elevation is 40. Enter. Length is close.
I'll be right back.
Oh, good. Length is 10,000. So good. Length is already set. Boom. Alright. So let's go up here and set landing altitude to 40 feet. That's fine. That's all good. That's all good. We're good. Outstanding. Oh man, it sure would be nice if I had a stewardess to bring me some coffee.
I'm back.
Alright. But yeah, so I guess while we're kind of in cruise, and waiting to get handed off to the next center, whoever that's going to be, I guess now would be a good time if you have anything you wanted to ask. This would probably be a good time to ask it. Like about how to operate the aircraft or, you know, more general operations, that sort of thing.
You're talking to a stream there, Chief?
I was actually talking to Disarm. I thought you were Disarm.
Bamboozled.
I was bamboozled again.
Blue 468, Atlanta, Sunny
133725.
resume normal speed. Getaway 175 to St. Pound discretion,
have
level 240.
I have
PD down at 240,
news
getaway 175.
about my AR, if you remember.
I do remember. I am still streaming though, so if you want it preserved for posterity, please do continue.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's
Then fire away, Monfer.
So, it came back. Did I tell you? Okay, no, we were on the same. I talked to you guys when it came back, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I got in contact with them again, and I was like, "Listen, sounds crazy. You sent it back to me. Doesn't work." So they were like, "All right, this time, why don't you send back the lower and the upper? I'll just knock it all out in one go, make sure nothing's wrong." And I was like, "I'd really not like to pay FFL fees, but okay." So they were like, "No, we're an FFL. You can ship your gun to an FFL. Just ship it to us, and we'll ship it straight back to you, and there's no problem." Apparently, that's all legal and such. So, unless they give me a new serial number. If they're shipping back the same gun, then there's no problem. But if there was a different serial number, if they had to replace the lower receiver itself, they'd have to send it to an FFL because it's a different gun. But they didn't have to do that.
That makes sense.
Like, yeah, it does. So anyways, I was like, cool, sent it back to them. I was like, oh no, actually, there was like a week of confusion where they were like, cool, we'll take it. We'll, because it's a serial, it's a lower receiver and such, we're going to have somebody special contact you to just give you the packing slip or whatever, because it's a serial number. And I was like, okay, makes sense. But a week goes by, I'm supposed to bring this gun on a trip in, like, June. So I was, like, getting a little antsy. I don't know how long this process over there is going to take. So I was like, sent them an email. I was like, listen, if you want to just send me another upper receiver, I'll send you this one back. I just don't want to be without one because I've got a trip soon. And the next day, they sent me
another upper.
No, they sent me a slip.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I put all the shit in the mail, like literally everything I could possibly think of that might have some relevance. Send it over, and a couple days later, they hit me up. They're like, so, we did some stuff, and what we've found is that it's not actually the upper receiver, although it looked like it could have been, I guess, is what I was thinking. But
right.
We were thinking. They were like, it actually is a incorrectly manufactured, out of spec bolt catch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Considering the fact that the lower, the parts kit that I put it together with, and the upper were all from them, they were like, so we replaced that, and now it works fine, and it'll be back to you soon, and it's coming in tomorrow.
Via the set to arrival, Atlanta altimeter 3007.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
To arrival, getaway 175.
I sent the upper back. They sent it back to me, and it sucks. But at least, I mean, like, listen, I know Palmetto State isn't exactly number one in terms of quality, but the customer service is there.
I mean, there's something to be said for that. Like, a not as good, an outstanding product that has terrible customer service is never going to outsell a decent product that has outstanding customer service.
I absolutely would agree.
So yeah, no, shit. I'll always, well, not always, but in like 95% of cases, I will always side with the customers, the better customer service versus the out and out better product.
Right.
Unless like it's something like stupid expensive.
Yeah.
In which case, chances are the money you're paying is worth the quality. So that's one of those instances where I'll probably still go with the better product, and just kind of hope and pray that nothing goes wrong, and I don't have to deal with their POS customer service.
Right.
It's a little early for this, but I'm gonna get it knocked out now, just so if I inadvertently get task saturated later, I don't screw it up. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm doing my my descent procedure like 170 miles or like 150 miles before I really have to. Just because it's only me in the cockpit and I'm not flying with FS2 crew on.
Okay.
So
gotta do the work of all of the men.
468 descend via the fifth to
right,
arrival, the
which
line
means
out
it's
3007.
really easy to get task saturated. Like, it's really easy to get task saturated.
Get that.
Alright, so MDA. Oh shit, I'm an idiot. MDA of 560 because I'm dumb and need to look at the right effing number.
It's already 12:15 in the morning.
So MDA stands for minimum decision altitude. So the way that works is if you're descending on the ILS and it's clouds all the way down, right? And you hit your decision altitude and you still cannot see the runway, you have to abort your takeoff or your landing because it's not safe to land because you can't see the runway. The exception to that is if you have, I think it has to be a Cat 3 auto land capable or Cat 3 auto land certified aircraft. You can continue past your minimums without seeing the runway, but you have to be on autopilot. You cannot hand fly below minimums if you can't see the runway environment. So
Makes sense.
when you look at an ILS chart, which let me see what I'm streaming here in OBS because I can probably just pull.
Atlanta Center, American 168 with you, passing flight level 110.
I think I'm streaming my desktop right now. So
American 168, Atlanta Center. Good evening,
if you care, I can pull this down and show you what I'm talking about.
Stand by the additional.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? I've got a few minutes. Not many minutes, but a few.
Right.
Center, American 168, we're ready to copy.
So we'll do approach. I'm hoping for runway 22 left.
Alma to arrival at Jacksonville, American
so this is an ILS chart. This isn't official. This is for simulator use only. Huh? Oh no.
Right now.
Oh, gotcha.
I thought you were gonna stream over to Discord.
No. Yeah. So this is an ILS chart, and so you've got your radio frequency information for the airport, the ILS information, and this is what you're looking for. Or not that. This down here is what you're looking for. The MDA, the minimum decision height, and that's in barometric. Unless you are flying. If you're just flying the localizer, it's here. If you're flying the ILS, it's radar altitude, I believe, and you'll use this. And that's so. Yeah, so that's where you find that, and then you've got your vertical profile here that you're supposed to follow. So like when I'm setting up the approach, I'm going to make sure the FMS is saying at buzzed, I'm in hard at 1500 because that's my final approach fix altitude.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I see Manhattan there.
Yeah, I'm flying into Newark.
Getaway 175.
How well is it all modeled?
Take care.
It's going to be pretty decently modeled. I've got an aftermarket payware EWR, so it should be pretty well modeled.
What did I miss?
Do you have?
I saw the ILS stuff.
Yeah, I've got JFK, I've got Teterboro, I've got LaGuardia.
MacArthur.
if I bought the like, I can get like the Southern New York scenery, and it'll be like high definition like textures for that whole area. But I don't fly into that area a whole lot, so I mostly just wanted the airports.
I gotcha. I was just curious to see if I could see my house.
Probably not in P3D.
Gotcha.
It's not that.
MSFS though.
Say again.
I said MFS. MSFS though. I will.
It's supposed to be the knees of bees, so they say.
I wonder how much it's gonna cost.
Delta 296, Atlanta Center, good evening.
Probably gonna cost as much as the bee's knees. A lot. I'm expecting MSFS to be like approaching $100, if not more.
Hopefully they'll have some kind of. Hopefully I'll be able to get in on like an alpha or something, because all I really fucking care about is being able to fly to my house. Because I'm not really like a general aviation guy as of right now.
Did you apply to the alpha?
A long time ago I did. I haven't heard anything back, so.
Gotcha. Have you been checking your email? Because they sent out a batch of them recently.
Not aggressively. I can go back and look.
Yeah, it might be worth checking out.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I don't know if I was telling you guys. I might fly for the Army. I've been considering.
That would be a good idea.
I've been considering it. I would like to fly. I mean, the only option is fixed wing. Not fixed wing.
Rotary.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, the
2415, contact Washington Center, 133.72, good night.
133.725 for Delta 2415. Good night, and thanks for the service, sir.
Look at you being so nice.
Clickable cockpit.
DC Center, Delta 2415 with you. Flight level 410. Good evening. How you doing tonight?
Delta 2415 doing good. How you about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Nice and quiet, nice and dark, and nice and smooth. Gotta love it.
Very good.
Knocked pretty aggressively on wood on that one.
Delta 3213, go ahead.
So is it the same time for everybody else?
Yeah, I'm flying real time right now. So it is currently 0423 Zulu, or close to it. 0424 Zulu on my clock right now.
3213, coming your way. Can you take over your route?
Say again.
One Zulu? Like
Zulu is Greenwich Mean Time, so it's Greenwich, England.
Oh.
So Zulu time is 4 hours ahead of us.
So it's 4 in the morning in game.
It is 4:30 in the morning Zulu time. It is midnight plus 23 Eastern Daylight Time.
I got it. I'm smart.
It's okay. It takes a little bit to switch gears and get used to Zulu time when you first start having to actually use it. But it makes life a lot easier to coordinate times across multiple time zones, which is why the airlines use it. Because if you're in California and I'm in Nova Scotia, and I say, hey, let's set up a call at 1500 Zulu today. Well, that time is the same for both of us. That's the same time, indifferent of the fact that I'm 4 hours ahead of you in time zones. So 1500 Zulu for me is going to be noon, and it's going to be 8 o'clock in the morning for you. If I'm doing that math right in California, I think California is Zulu -7.
Yeah.
So
it just makes everybody's life easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect for everything, especially when you try and do something regular, like our weekly flights. Wrench and I had a discussion about setting the time in Zulu because we have people across multiple time zones. But the decision was ultimately made to keep it Eastern Daylight Time because the conversion isn't hard to do, and if we keep it at Eastern Time, then it stays the same time throughout the year. Whereas if we were to do Zulu time, then when daylight savings rolls around, then we'd have to tell everybody, oh, hey, by the way, the flight's now an hour later. Or, hey, the flight's now an hour earlier. You know?
Yeah.
So it just keeps it simple going. It's 2000 Eastern Time. It's going to be that every day. Or every time, you know. Just for simplicity. But for the airlines, because they can have aircraft in... They can have different aircraft across 15 or 20 different time zones, you know.
Southwest 32,
It just
makes everybody's life easier.
Right. And oh, there is Tower and ATIS at Newark. So we're not going to have an approach. I think Center might do the approach duties for us, but we are going to have Tower and ATIS into Newark. Or Tower into Newark, and then ATIS at Newark. And ATIS stands for Automated Terminal Information System.
Yeah, that gives you all your information.
Your weather, specifically, but it's primarily for weather, but it's also used for the controllers to pass information to aircraft. Like you saw when I took the ATIS in Atlanta, it had the expected departure runway and all that jazz. Yeah, I don't know how much you know, so I'm just kind of covering everything.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. That is one thing I do know.
Very well. But yeah, so. These are the parts of the flights I kind of like, because it's like your chance to relax and chill out. Speaking of, so we got 215 miles or so to top of descent. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to make sure pause at top of descent is turned off because I don't want it to do that this time. Come on. Ah, what the frig is this? Oh. Son of a bitch.
Good luck with the rest of this, Chief. I'm hopping off.
Alright, buddy. Have a good night, man.
You too. See you later, Disarm.
See ya.
So when I very stupidly didn't connect the engine generators to the rest of the airplane before shutting off the APU like some kind of b-hole, it disconnected me from ACARS. Not a big deal, but it just means that my backup block times aren't being recorded. Well, I mean, it is because I've got my clock running right here, and that is recording my block time. But like the out, off, on, in times aren't. I don't have the backup for those anymore, which is sad face.
Oof.
Yeah, it's the big oof. So let's take a look at our progress page here. So we have 386 total miles to Newark. We have about 200 miles to top of descent. Should be landing with 5.3 or 5,300 pounds of fuel.
Southwest 3213, roger, wind 230 at 9 air, runway 28, clear to take
Got
off.
a 19 knot tailwind, gotta love that, but a 15 knot crosswind component. 447s are true. So actually our dispatch was pretty much right on the money with our ground speed. It gave us a dispatched ground speed of 445 in cruise, and we're showing 446 right now. So That's
Nice.
that's pretty good. That's PDG right there. Pretty darn good. Now, our flight plan has us descending at Booyah to flight level 310. I don't think we're going to end up doing that. I do believe that air traffic control is just going to have us start descending from our present flight level, which is fine. It's not really going to hurt anything. I could make the request. I just don't feel like it. Alright, so let's get our landing information put in. So we're projected 123.8 pounds, or 1,000 pounds gross weight. Boom. And so we're looking at VREF of 130. So interestingly, our landing performance data was calculated with a approach speed at plus 10 knots, which is interesting for the reason that ordinarily your approach speed is plus 5.
9014 back on frequency.
Right, thank you.
So we're going to change this to plus 10. Can I not? There it is. Alright, so now we've got wind correction plus 10 plugged in. So, alright, so our V approach is going to be 140 knots.
Delta 432, roger, good evening.
And that is because it is going to be stupid windy in Newark, as we saw when we took a look at the METAR for Newark. So that's going to be a fun approach, if I'm being flat honest. Yeah, it's going to be a fun approach. Oh yeah, I should probably detune the navs, huh? Well, it's already pretty detuned. I just have to set it. Speaking of setting it, we're looking for 108.7 is going to be our ILS frequency into 22 left. Assuming, of course, they give us 22 left, which I hope they do. Just so... 108.7. Alright, so we got that plugged up. I'm gonna see if I can get... I can't yet. Damn. We're still too far away to get the ATIS at Newark.
Break 2533, Washington, Center Squawk 3543, 3543.
So when Tittles first came back, I thought he was you. So he goes, "Oh, did you hear? Oh, okay."
I'm talking to somebody on TeamSpeak.
Oh.
I heard disarm, and I was just like, "What?"
Ah, gotcha. So, I guess we're in cruise. It's gonna be a minute before I get handed off to anybody else. We've got about 160 nautical miles until top of descent, thereabouts. So if you've got anything you wanted to ask that you didn't really have the time to ask because I was, busy flying the airplane, this would be a good time.
So when you switched autopilots, what was the first one called? VRAF, I think you said, or
VNAV.
VNAV. What's VNAV?
So VNAV is vertical navigation, and that's your vertical profile. And then LNAV is lateral navigation, or your flight path, or your flight plan, as it were.
Gotcha.
So making sure both of you have to make sure that both of those are working properly in order to have the autopilot function correctly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if they don't work, if one or the other doesn't work, you're gonna have a lot more to do, and really you should not be taking off.
Gotcha.
And then there's two different autopilot channels. There's channel A and channel B. And in order to do an auto land, which the 737 is rated for auto land, but I only think category 1 and 2. I don't think it's category 3 rated. It might be, but I don't think so. But in order for the auto land to work, you need to have both autopilot channels active and functioning, and your minimums or your minimum decision altitude will be using the radio altimeter instead of the barometric altimeter.
Gotcha.
Yep. So.
Does your between checkpoints, does your autopilot automatically do that, or do you have to manually dial it in?
Nope. I have not. All of the stuff you saw me doing in the FMS at the very beginning.
That's what that was?
That's what that was. That was me. So the flight planning software that I showed you earlier today, that generates the flight plan file that gets sent to the FMS. And so what I do when I load in is I connect up the ACARs, and then I via ACARs request the flight plan that I just created. And then that gets loaded into the sim, but that's a basic flight plan. I still have to go in and put in my performance data, which includes my cruising altitude, so that the FMS can calculate the vertical profile for VNAV. And then I have to put in my departure procedures, departure runway, and my arrival procedures and arrival runway. And so that's when you saw me go and turn on the plan page on the MFD here and have the legs page up here and be zooming in and out to try and make sure there's no discontinuities or anything like that. That's what that was the whole purpose of all of that was.
Gotcha.
To do that.
Well, so soon, how much distance is in between each circle?
You talking about these range arcs here?
Yeah, the range arcs. How much distance is in between each?
Oh, it depends on how you have it set. So right now I have it set for 80 nautical miles, so each arc
20.
is 20.
Gotcha. So relatively soon it's just going to start turning.
Yeah, in a little over 40 miles. Yeah.
40?
Yeah. See, this is the 40-mile range arc right here. This is our next waypoint. Well,
I thought the star was the waypoint.
No, it is. So yeah, you're right. At Barry, we're gonna turn slightly left, and then at FAK, we're gonna turn a little more left, and then straight on through Shona. But what's probably gonna happen is when we get close to starting our descent, air traffic control is just gonna tell us direct to a specific waypoint. So that's why it's good to keep the legs page up. It's also Delta Airlines procedure. Now I don't know 100% it's Delta Airlines, but FS2 Cruise 737 comes with 3 different SOPs that it can use for the virtual first officer. And SOP 1 is the default Boeing advised, Boeing recommended SOP for a crew operating the 737. SOP 2 is described in the FS2 crew documentation as the SOPs for crew coordination with a major U.S. airline. And I am willing to put money on that being Delta. And then SOP 3 is the crew coordination SOPs for operating the 737 for a major European airline, which I'm willing to bet that's one of 3. That's either British Airways, Lufthansa, or Air France. is my guess there. Could be Ryanair, because Ryanair operates a lot of 737s in its fleet, but you know, who knows. But yeah, so having the legs page up on one of the FMSs is just generally a good idea for that reason, so that when ATC comes back saying, you know, Delta 2415 proceed direct Pilos, I can just go in here, or Pete or Paleo. Say he calls me and says proceed direct Paleo. I just go, Roger, direct Paleo Delta 2415. I come in here, select Paleo, put it over FAK, hit execute, and now I'm direct. I can also, there's another way to do that, I think. No. Not in this FMS, but in some FMSs, actually, the more I think about it, the less sure I am. But I know that in other FMSs, for sure, there's a direct function. So if somebody if air traffic control tells you direct to a waypoint on your flight plan, you just select that waypoint and hit the direct button, and it makes that waypoint the next waypoint. But the way I always do it in the 7.3 and the 4 and the 7 is I just pick which one I want and then move it up. And it looks like DC Center is going to be going offline soon, so we might be descending on our own discretion into EWR and then contacting Tower when we get probably
Delta
within...
2415, descend via the Filbo 3 arrival, the
Hang on.
Newark altimeter is 2985.
Washington Center, Delta 2415. Could you give us that arrival one more time, sir? I didn't quite catch it.
Sure, Delta 2415, descend via the Filbo 3 arrival, the altimeter is 2985.
Roger, via the Filbo arrival, altimeter is 2985 at Newark, Delta 2415. Alright, so we are descending. We pretty much got clearance to descend as scheduled because Atlanta gave us the Filbo 3. Let me just make sure that is plugged in. Yep, Filbo 3. Washington Center, Delta 2415.
Go ahead.
Do you, by chance, know, sir, what runway we can expect in Newark?
Delta 2415, according to the wind, I'd probably plan for 22 left.
Roger that. We'll plan for that. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you much.
No worries.
All right. 22 left. And we'll take the pattern, but he's probably gonna... We'll activate that, and then... And let's go and make sure there's no discontinuity. Alright, yeah, vector to pattern. That's fine. Yeah, we're good. Alright, so we are coming up 85 miles top of descent. So let's get our... We're going to set our final... We're going to set our final approach fix altitude, which is 1,500 feet. I'm going to set that on the MCP right now. Just kind of doing that in advance there. Alright, so let's do our quick and dirty descent checklist. So minimums are set, 5.6, or MDA set at 560 feet barrow. We're using our reserve fuel, but that's fine. Shouldn't be eating in. Yeah, we're not eating into it hardly at all. So we have our V speed set, wind correction at +10. We have our ILS frequency plugged in, and we're going to activate that now. ILS frequency set, V speeds are plugged in. Runway heading is set. All right, so we are ready, little Freddy. And we kind of did our departure. We already did kind of a pseudo approach brief anyway, so boom shakalaka.
Alright. I gotta head out because I gotta wake up tomorrow morning. So thanks for showing me this. I'm sorry I can't see descent.
Man, we only got like 40 minutes left. Come on.
I'm sorry. I actually have to be up, and I don't want to be dead all day tomorrow.
Alright, fine. Well, since it's streaming on YouTube, the nice thing about that is that it records automatically and publishes to YouTube.
Yeah,
so
just watch it later.
Yeah, so you can tune back in tomorrow at some point and watch the descent.
Yeah.
Alright, buddy. Have a good night.
Have a good You too, man.
Alright. See ya.
See ya.
Alright. There's our top of descent. It's kind of flickering. I've honestly never seen that before. Well, maybe the wind is doing something kind of freaky deaky. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that I frickin' disconnected the APU without first connecting the generators. That might have something to do with it. That would be my guess. Oh, it's still very dark. It's still very, very dark. I think I just saw a, I just see another set of strobe lights out there. No, I guess not. Interesting. Alright, so we do a flaps 40 landing. Wind correction is +10. I wonder if EWR is still going to be online by the time I get there. Oh, 2985, that's right. He gave me my I very nearly forgot about that. Alright, so one thing I need to check is to make sure that I'm gonna hit my altitudes on the approach. So I'm there. On the arrival, I need to make sure so I need to cross Flat Rock. Yeah, the FUBAR transition. I need to cross FUBAR at flight level 270. And then I've got to be across DuPont at 200. Alright, so there's 270 right there. And then we're going to make this a hard flight level 200 there. Execute. And then Steffi 13000. Make this a hard 13000. Execute. And then Somto 11,000, Dylan 8,000. And then that's our last hard altitude right there. So all right, so we've got our hard altitudes plugged in. So we should be good to go. We have we've got our hard altitudes plugged in according to the arrival chart. So good. All good things. Before I forget, I want to pin that. I want to pin that. And I didn't want to open that necessarily, but I did want to pin it. Okay. And close that. And close that. Yeah, I'll just go to the thing as I need it. Okay. So we are now fully set for our arrival. We should be coming over Washington, D.C. here soon. Not that you would know, because it is super dark. Yeah. I do believe that's Washington, D.C. down there. I'll probably have to kajigger with Tomato Shade some more and try and make this like pitch dark night thing not be a thing anymore, because it is annoying. I will admit it's irritating, because there's very few nights I think that are that dark. I could be wrong though. I've never flown a plane at night like in the real world, so I've only been a daytime kind of guy. Yeah, so it looks like the issue is the computer can't decide if it wants to descend before OT or after OT. Either way, I think we'll be okay. And we are expecting the 22 left approach. Excuse me. Actually, so what we were looking at was the southeastern suburbs of Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is actually over there. That big mass of extremely well-lit buildings. That is Washington, D.C. You can see the White House, and you can see the reflecting pool for the Lincoln Memorial, and you can see Dulles. You can see Washington Dulles Airport down there. Yeah, it's Zozo. Yeah, there's some stuff to be desired for sure. So I'm thinking Yeah, so it looks like Newark Tower went offline. Kind of a bummer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting our descent.
So we're going to be kind of on our own all the way into,
Properly stowed either in one of the overhead bins or under the seat in front of you. Please
we're going to be on our own into Newark, I think.
until we have arrived safely.
So we're going to tune. We're gonna have Common on standby. All right, so we've begun our descent. Delta's probably going to go, hey, you get exactly 5 points for this because you didn't fly the company route. It's like, well, what do you want me to do? ATC gave me my own route. Am I supposed to not fly online? Is that what's going on here? I think there's some leeway there if you put on that you flew VATSIM. You flew on VATSIM or IVAO.
Oryx 914, cross hog, data maintain flight level 190.
Oh.
Hogs 190, Minnow 4.
I am. Admittedly, I am looking forward to getting onto the ground. I'm just glad that Washington Center cleared us to descend on the arrival. That makes me happy. It makes me happy because it makes. Oh, that's interesting. Lost my connection to the voice server momentarily. Let me
Southwest 3213, Indy's offline, Unicom 1228, good night.
Have a good night, Center. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Alright, 122.8. Alright. You know what? I think I might plug in the tower at Newark on radio 2. Just in case. Actually, maybe I'll put in New York approach and then tower on radio 2, just in case. 128.55 for tower. Or that's New York approach. 128.55. So 8.55. Just in case. Looks like we got a little bit of weather here. Not too much, just some rain off to the off to our north here. Oh boy. Almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Whew, yeah, I'd be lying if I said I won't be glad to get on the ground here. All right, auto brake is armed. Speed brake is armed. Doors are locked. Lights are set. Transponders set. ILS frequency is plugged in. Radios are set. Our arrival's set. All right. Ooh, are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make FUBAR at 27,000? Oh, I think we will. No, we didn't. It tried arresting the descent to ease into the altitude setting, and it didn't quite work out. Alright, so how far out am I? Not too worried about that anymore. So I am... Oh yeah, see, we're plenty of fuel. 152 miles out, or as you were. Yeah, 152 miles out. Still, should get in there in about a half an hour is when we can be expecting to land. Which is going to give us a block time of, which is going to give us a block time right around, or it's going to give us a total flight time of right around an hour and a half, so not too bad. Not too bad at all, if I do say so. What was that? Wonder... Alrighty. So I gotta be 20,000 feet. Oh, that's not good. At DuPont. I hope my INS isn't bent. Because that would be a first of all. Secondly, because my Navigraph chart using SimConnect is showing that my aircraft is just about to cross over OT. That we're just about to cross over OT on the approach, or on the arrival. But according to the FMS, we're actually just before DuPont. So... Oh, didn't want to turn traffic off. Alright, we will do, I'm gonna connect that. I'm gonna get rid of the vectors. Just cause we ain't getting vectored, no way. There's a big ol' conga line going into Atlanta. That's redonkulous. Alright, let's go in here. Flags. Next. Next. Now it's got to figure out its vertical life again. There it goes. Yeah, using reserve fuel. We're fine. What did I put in as my reserve fuel? Because pretty sure my reserves, according to the dispatch, were like... Yeah, 5.7. Landing was 6.4. Yeah, I don't know why it's going using reserve fuel, because we're not. Whatever. It is what it is. Alright. Newark traffic. Delta 2415 is currently at 18,000, descending on the Filbo 3 for the ILS approach to 22 left at Newark. Newark traffic. Alright, so let's go over to our ILS. I know aircraft is outside of chart bounds, thank you. So I need to be 3,000 at VOR, 2,500 at Gimme, and 1,500. Alright, so boop. There we go.
Altimeter setting.
Altimeter is set. Thank you, Raz. 2,500 at Gimme. We're going to do a hard 2,500 at Gimme. Execute. And at Buzzed, we need to be 1,500. 1,500 is hard. Execute. And 3,000. Execute.
Altimeter setting.
You're fine. Actually, yeah, why is that saying 6.3 when we're less than that right now? That's weird. Yeah, 5.1. Okay, yeah, so we are... Oh. It helps if I look at the right the fuck... I'm an idiot. That's the exhaustion right there. That's what that is. That is me being tired.
Altimeter setting.
What do you want me to set it to, Raz? Alright, there. Are you happy? Jeez, oh Pete. Okay, so it looks like we do. We got a little bit of weather over over EWR right now. We should be okay. Okay. Let's do our approach checklist. Altimeters set to 909er0. Approach checklist complete. Approach. Yep. Alright. I'm looking. I don't see him. He must have missed us by enough, as it were. Alright, let's put out some speed brake here. Just so we can not get too far above our path before getting down to speed limit. Newark traffic, Delta 2415 is crossing Somto at 1,400. Alright, so I'm going to keep the speed brakes out until I get back onto my descent profile, and then I'll pull them in. So I wonder if that's not Newark right there. I don't know. Alright, there we go. Speed brakes back in. Get our lights on. There she is, all nice and lit up like a Christmas tree. Yeah, I'm a-thinking. See, this is like New York area. This place should be brighter than frig. Alright, I'm gonna turn that. I'm gonna turn this dome light off. It's just kind of getting to me just a little too much. And I can see pretty well enough. But I am going to turn the brightness of the displays down just a hair. There we go. Bring that back up. Yeah.
Altimeter setting.
It must have changed again. Oh, hey, look at that. It's probably going to end up being 29 or 85 when we get there. What do you know? So I think that might be Newark right there. Maybe not. That looks a little close. Because Newark is about 35 miles straight line distance from us, something like that. So I'm gonna be flying. We're gonna be flying right over Teterboro. Yeah, that's not Newark right there. That's some other little teeny weeny airport. What I wouldn't give for the shaders to like un-F themselves.
Altimeter setting.
Yeah, we're gonna be turning that off because that's really. I didn't think that was. I thought like it was only gonna like yell at you if like you were like still at standard or something and had descended below transition altitude. But if it's gonna yell at me every single time the pressure changes by 1/100th of an inch, I'm turning it off. That I can't deal with that. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be okay. So we're actually gonna hold it 2,500. I don't know why we're 3,000 feet below our descent profile, but we are. So we're going to hold at 2,500 feet.
Altimeter setting.
Shut it, Raz. Yeah, we're supposed to be up at like 6,000 feet right now. I don't know what in the heck. I don't know why it descended like that.
Altimeter setting.
Shut it, Raz.
Altimeter setting.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can really do to... Yeah, not from in here anyway. Alright.
Altimeter setting.
It's raining. We might go anti-skid 3. Well, it's auto brakes, but
Altimeter setting.
you're fine, Raz. This dude's supposed to have.
Altimeter setting.
How far is it to Filbo? Like less than 3 miles.
Altimeter setting.
Do 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 do. Newark traffic, Delta 2415 is crossing Filbo at 3000 for the ILS approach to 22 left. Newark traffic. Alright.
Altimeter setting.
Alright, so there's Gimme, which I'm going to intersect Teterboro here. So actually, once I get up here, I can direct Gimme.
Altimeter setting.
You're fine, Raz. 115.7. I'm sorry? I can't tune that.
Altimeter setting.
Shit. That's a mystery. Down to 20.
Altimeter setting. Altimeter setting.
Burned so much damn fuel this way. I don't know why it descended like that. But we have burned way more fuel than we needed to. Way more fuel than we needed to. by having to putz along here at 240 knots at 3,000 feet. We could have been descending this pretty much this entire time with close to idle power. Oh well, c'est la vie.
Altimeter setting.
Alright, so that's that United flight. Hey, United 2320, this is Delta 2415. You were coming in pretty quiet and broken, but I got good copy on you lining up on runway 22 right for takeoff. I'm inbound on the approach ILS for 22 left.
Thank you, United 2320. How's your reading now?
That's a little bit better.
Altimeter setting.
Alright, let's arm the approach. There we go. Alright, now we're good. Alright, 13.5 miles. Let's start making our way down speed-wise. Stick out a couple of notches of flaps here. There's Teterboro Airport right off the nose. There we go. Alright, I guess it didn't like that. It's okay.
Now 2320, take off on 22 right, New York.
Altimeter setting.
What airport?
New York Airport.
There's a lot of airports in New York.
Sorry about my accent. New York. KEWR.
Copy.
Alright, so we want to be at our approach speed crossing buzzed, which is our final approach fix. So buzzed is in about 5 miles, so we need to get slowing down. Let's set
Orsano 14 on the downwind for the ILS, runway 04 left.
140 is our target. Newark traffic, Delta 2415 is on long final on the ILS to 22 left. Newark traffic. Alright, there's our flaps coming down. Gear going down. Runway in sight. Alright, autopilot disconnect. My throttles.
Altimeter setting.
Then we'll go flaps 40. Newark traffic, Delta 2415 is 4 miles out to land, runway 24 left. Newark traffic. Okay, we have gotten way slow because I was more worried about communicating than aviating.
JFK or 714, 11 miles out, the ILS is far left. Correction, 04 left.
Altimeter setting.
One 1,000 feet.
Altimeter setting. Too high, too high. Approaching. 2, left.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue.
Unstable, unstable.
Oh, shut up, Raz.
KATL-KEWR 914, 5 mile final, ALS 04 left.
Long landing, long landing.
Manual brakes. Okay. Let's clean up.
On behalf of the crew, I thank you for choosing us, and we look forward to seeing you on future flights. Have a great evening.
Newark traffic, Delta 2415 is clear of runway 22 left. Newark traffic. Alright.
KATL-KEWR 914, show final 04 left.
Alright. Let me...
Approaching. 04, left.
Newark traffic, Delta 2415 crossing runway 22 right, Newark traffic. Alright, so let's get this dome light turned back on. Get our APU spinning up. Let's cross that a little faster, shall we? Alright, Newark traffic, Delta 2415 is clear of runway 22 right, Newark traffic. Alright, now let's find a spot to park. Looks like we are right near Terminal B. So let's do that. Gate B. We'll do B60. No. Let's see if I can see. There it is. So we need to turn around. Oh, that would never in a million years be allowed. I'm driving like shit. Just trying to see where I'm going, man. Alright, there it is. Okay. There it is. I can see the lights now. Oh, I should probably turn my strobes off. Doop, doop. There we go. Yep. And there's the fun. There's the party. I think this is it right here. Have you ever been to Newark before? Well, once in 1944, but we didn't stop. Alright, let's cycle the flight director. We are going to shut down the number 2 engine. Taxi in on just the one. Huh, Air Israel. Neat. I feel like this is a heavy gate. Okay. Let's cut that off. Cut that on. Connect our APU this time. And cut that off. Operate the jetway. Start deboarding once that's all squared away. And we need some ground power. Let's get some ground power going. Set the chocks. Quest. And Alright, well, that pretty much does it, boys and girls. That pretty much does it, so I would like to thank you all for coming along, especially you, Disarm. This was fun. It was tired, stressful, but fun. Alright, well, until next time, I am the one true Mongoloid, signing off.